Hey, I want to thank you for joining us on Polk Place. I'm Brian Lacey, and going to introduce you to a young man. He's Polk County grown. He went to high school at Lake Region. He's played professional baseball, and currently he's a coach for the Rays. But most of all, he's got a nonprofit that you're gonna want to check out. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Ronnie Richardson. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be here.
Oh, we have a mutual friend.
Yeah.
And she said, Dad, will you put him on the show?
Yeah. She actually, we go way back.
Yeah, you guys went to high school together. Talk to me a little bit about your roots within Polk County.
So I was born in Bartow, lived on the other side growing up to like first grade, moved to Gorn Heights. Ended up going to Eagle Lake Elementary and then to Lake Region High School. So I went to All Saints for 2 years, 7th and 8th grade. Mm-hmm. And then I went to Lake Region High School, did 4 years there, graduated from Lake Region High School in 2009. So
out of high school, you were went to UCF. Talk to me, and you were drafted also, weren't you?
Yes, sir. So I was drafted in 2009 by the Minnesota Twins. I turned it down. Went to college, got drafted again in 2011 by the Chicago Cubs, and then turned it down again, went back to school for my junior season, and then I ended up signing with the San Diego Padres.
So talk to me a little bit about the professional end, because it really has molded you into what you are now and what you're trying to help young athletes realize.
Yeah, well, that's where we started. That's how it all come about, R2Cares. I was a highly recruited athlete, played Team USA, had a lot of accolades, and I feel like people knew the athlete. They didn't really know who Ronnie truly was, right? So as I've gone through my journey, what I wanted to do is find a way to give back, but also teach these athletes the things that they don't tell you, right? They don't tell you how to be a professional. They don't tell you about the time management skills you have to learn when you're in college. They don't tell you when you get to that professional rank that it's now a job, but it's also a business.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right? And then there's other things that people go through from the mental side that can affect their on-field play. That's not even about talent at certain levels. It's more about how you handle the adversity, right? Baseball was a game of failure, and you fail a lot when you're playing this game. So through all those lessons that I learned from failure, I just embraced it, right? But then dealing with stuff off the field, like understanding childhood traumas, understanding the triggers, right? This stuff that we don't want to talk about. It's people that's going through things daily that they internalize. And what I realized, I was internalizing things, and it's a ticking time bomb, right? But once I started opening up about things, being more vulnerable, showing that side of myself and understanding who I was, trying to figure out self-identity, right? I realized that it was people out there that truly cared. Even though I was battling stuff internally, as I slowly started sharing these different things that I was going through, I felt like people started pouring into me, not even realizing that I was actually going through a struggle.
Ronnie, talk to me a little bit about baseball life. I mean, everybody thinks it's millions of dollars and it's life in the fast lane. And if anything, it's life on a bus.
Yep.
Small town to small town.
Yep.
And compartmentalizing failure, because in a business where 33% of hitting is outstanding.
Yep.
I mean, talk to me a little bit about that life in baseball and how it adds to that anxiety within your heart and your head.
Well, that's a pretty great question, right? Because like dealing with baseball, like you said, if you get a hit 3 times out of 10 over your career span, you're a Hall of Famer, right? So you're dealing with 70% failure. How do you overcome that? You got your dad yelling at you, the fans yelling at you. You're battling yourself internally, not necessarily talent-wise. I keep going back to that because once I realized at the certain levels, you have the talent. But how do you overcome what's going on at the house, right? You're away from your family. You're away from your kids, your wives, your girlfriends. Coaches do it as well.
Yeah.
So you're sacrificing all these things and the stuff that people don't talk about, right? But then they expect you to go out and perform. So if you don't understand that, how to open up and talk to someone about it, how are you supposed to succeed in that environment? It's a fast pace. Like, we play 6 days a week now. Back when I was playing, we may play 23 games straight, and with 13-hour, 14-hour bus rides with maybe one off day.
And that's a lot of time. A bus ride is a lot of time to compartmentalize, really. So you've taken what you've learned over the years, and now we have R2Cares. Talk to me a little bit about how we're going to help and what the plans are for athletes and parents within Polk County to help them not only become a better athlete, but really what it's all about, being a better person.
So for me, the whole R2Cares concept, baseball is secondary, sports are secondary. So we're using our platform to where I come from as the draw in, to get people in. But me and the people that I bring to these events are some pretty successful people from the community's eyes, right? People want to see these guys, but when you go to these little league parks, you think everybody's going to be a first rounder about how these parents are acting, right? They're trying to live life through their kids.
Vicariously.
Which is not good, because they're creating more damage to the kids than they could anyways, right? So for me, I think baseball is, like I said, is secondary, but through the events, Orlando Health sponsored us to do mental health certification trainings to the community, right? Which was huge, because in spring training 2 years ago, I actually took this course myself. And when I looked around the room to people that I work with on a daily basis, when they started showing that, you could see it in their face, right? That they were battling something. And it hurt me, because I'm like, man, I thought I knew these people. We got to start having better conversations, right? And then I was going through something personally myself at the house that, you know, that I thought I was alone going through it. But I had to overcome that. And then I go, man, we got to help people. So I created this to give free lessons, free camps, but also give back to our community, right? Because that event in November, what we did last year was we had the panel on Friday night. Orlando Health did the mental health certification trainings, right, to the community. Then I brought in some motivational speakers, one being Chris Singleton, which his story is, I say it's amazing, but we're talking about his mom getting murdered in the Charleston shooting. And his story is so moving because the way his perspective on it, he was like, this guy wanted to start a race war in America, and I grew up in the church. I wasn't going to let him win. Right? He was like, he goes around the country speaking on forgiveness, resiliency, and then navigating a tragedy turned to something positive to go back and serve others. And I'm all about that. Like, everyone to tell you, like, my care factor is probably unmatched. I just want everyone to succeed. Sometimes I put people above myself. Well, not sometimes. I do it all the time. That's why when we did this event, I'm like, we're not going to charge for it. But I'm swiping my credit card, paying for all this stuff, right? And then my consultant looked at me and goes, we're gonna give you a box and stay away from the table because you'll give away everything. Then my response was, did you see that smile on that kid's face? Right? So that's what moves me. So like, to get Polk County support, to get GiveWell donated to us, right? But we need more. We need more people that believe in this, to show people that they're not alone, for one, right? And it's okay to tap into your community and find a safe space for you to actually talk to.
One thing that people don't realize, nonprofits run on the generosity of the public and, of course, corporate to help fund what you're doing. You have great community partners, and you have an incredible caring board. Talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, if it wasn't for them, this wouldn't be going, because Jonathan Grau, which is my executive director, he's actually based out of DC. He was one of the mental health advocates in that room with Tampa Bay that he heard my story, and he looked at me and he goes, man, you're powerful. You just need to tell it. So nobody wants to hear this. And then he asked me, do you got your sponsor packages together? I was like, what is that? I'm not asking nobody for anything. I struggle with that. So I send him the package. He sends me back a check. He goes, fill out your paperwork for your nonprofit. And now I was like, I have to do it. I have this guy's money.
Yeah.
We have to get the paperwork right. Then I was talking to Chris Singleton up in Charleston, South Carolina, and he said the exact same thing. Dude, you're powerful. Tell your story. And then he goes, when's your date? He looked at his calendar. He goes, I'm free. He goes, I'm there. And I'm like, no, they're committing to it. I don't even have a venue. I don't have anything. But it kind of pushed me to get outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, man, we have to do this. We have to do it. And then when I started telling people like the concept and what we're doing, I had 4 people break down crying to me because they were going through something internally. And then my response was, just let it out. It's okay. Like, just because you're going through something, someone else is going through something way worse than you right now. But you have to talk to someone. Find a safe space. Everybody should have a safe space to be able to just be themselves and let it all out. Because like I said earlier, internalizing that stuff is making things worse. Suicides are at an all-time high, right? You got athletes, for one, that all they've ever known was sports. Mm-hmm. But when that's taken away from you, who are you, right? So they don't even have an identity outside of sports. And then that was kind of my story, right? Everyone knew Ronnie was a 3-sport athlete in high school, like, but they didn't know my backstory.
Yeah.
Right? So then also something that we're doing for the kids is we're trying to teach them, you are the brand. Create your own brand, right? Give back to your community. So we select about 40 emerging leaders throughout the state, which is Chip Lawrence, which is the special assistant to scouting of the Detroit Tigers, and also the global cross-checker for the Tigers. Yeah. So his role, I just delegated to him, hey, find me the players, but people that give back, they're in their community, and they come out and volunteer with us at the camps, but also leadership skills, right? We get them to talk about the struggles, the trials and tribulations. And we have all this stuff on camera because, like, we created that safe space, but their job is to mentor the younger generation. So these high school kids that's getting ready to transition into college or professional ball, they're at a high right now. NIL's at an all-time high. They're throwing around money, but we're not teaching financial literacy, right? Which is it's contradicting in itself. Exactly. You're giving someone that's never had any money now. What are they going to do with it? It's a cycle. That's why athletes go broke. So we're teaching that. That's when the partnership with Chris came in. He's a successful business owner right here from Polk County, graduated from Lake Region itself, dugout mugs, like you mentioned earlier.
I saw that on your website. I mean, I am a sports junkie and did not realize that the cool stuff that you see, the baseball bats turn mugs, the ball's cut in half, the end of the bats, those are some of the coolest things, and they're made here and based out of Winter Haven.
Based out of Winter Haven,
and that's that's two people giving back to not only this community but other communities within the area.
Exactly. So we have a Cheers to Charity going on right now. So anything that's purchased through Dugout Mugs and our affiliate site, he's doing a kickback for our operations for November. But Chris heard the story. He hears me talk all the time. He slows me down sometimes, but because I want to give. He's like, dude, you got to run it like a business, but at the same time, this is needed. He goes, this is something we don't talk about. So he joined our board just to be able to do the financial literacy part, but also teach people about business, right? So we're creating some pretty good partnerships. Give Well, like I said, Wesley Barnett, I went to school with him at All Saints, trying to get him more involved. Yeah. So I'm asked right now, Wesley, we need you more involved. Just because it's not about the donations for me, right? Don't just give me your money and expect us just to do this. We have a concept. We
invest along with you.
Yes, we want partners that want to help build the community up. We want to encourage these kids, these families too, because we talk about like real estate. We talk about, the basic financial needs. Well, it starts with the parents not understanding it themselves. Mm-hmm. But if we're teaching these kids and then they're having conversations with their parents that don't know, how are we going to grow? So we're hoping parents sit in the rooms. We're hoping that at our events, the parents sit there and watch us teach their kids. For one, we hope that the parents see their kids volunteering, right? Giving back, doing the extracurricular activities, just telling someone hello, remembering their name.
Yeah, exactly.
Just think about that. You walk through, talk to the janitor, hey, Brian, how's it going?
Exactly.
You just make that guy's day.
Well, listen, we got 30 seconds left. What I want you to do is inspire those watching this to get involved, to become a part of R2Cares. Yeah,
so if you're moved by our foundation and kind of our mission, you can go to R2Cares.org, R2Cares on Instagram and Facebook. Follow us there, and there's also links that you can contact us directly through email, phone.
Ronnie, it has been a pleasure meeting you. I love your passion. Anything that we can ever do to help you out, please come back and see me, will you?
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. I love this setup, by the way.
All right. Thanks for coming in, all right?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
R2Cares is dedicated to empowering individuals and communities to overcome generational challenges and redefine their narrative with a fervent belief that adversity does not dictate one's identity. Through comprehensive services and advocacy, R2Cares aims to inspire, give hope, educate, and equip underserved populations with the tools necessary to thrive and lead as the next generation of empowered change makers. Now, if you need more information on them, go to Facebook at R2Cares or look them up at R2Cares.org. If you enjoyed that episode of Polk Place, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and even check out the next one.